what's up? I'm gonna talk about bar stuff, mostly like the drama side of being a bartender, working in that kitchen style industry. And I feel like there's a lot of videos that don't talk about how it is working at a bar and like, kind of like working kitchen. Um, so I guess like the big purpose of this video is kind of like there's a lot of stupid shit that you have to deal with, and I feel like a lot of people don't know. And I think bartending in general is such a good, like, let's just say you didn't do the whole school thing, right? Like, I feel like bar is like, you gain a personality from that. You get better at talking to people. You get connections. Like, there's so many fucking benefits from it. Especially, it pays more than average. Of course, it depends on location. Like, bigger cities, of course, are gonna pay more than like smaller places. Um, but the purpose of this video is just telling you, like, it sucks because the majority of people aren't your friends, which is weird. So it sounds obvious, but it feels like the people that see you every day, I'm talking about customers, they're the people rooting for you to do better, you know? And the people you live around, mostly, I'm not saying all my coworkers, but I'm saying like it feels like a competition. That's what I'm trying to say. So how I became a bartender, now I'm like 2 years in, was first it was like starting off as like a server, no experience whatsoever. Starting off like a server, cashier, bus tables, did all that crap. Worked at the what's it called? Like I would have to deliver the food, whatever. Um, boring shit. So what's it called? So I was like, okay, cool. I could do this, climb up to bar, and this is the thing. Everyone like this is the normal situation for all people who want to be bartenders, that you have to go through this ladder of a server, climbing up, and hopefully you become a bartender as like from like people leaving and shit. So it's a very annoying long process. You could get lucky and get a bar position automatically if you're in the right time, right place, pretend like the job needs a bartender and they couldn't find anybody, or somebody leaves. You could get super lucky in that aspect. But for me, and I think for the majority of you, you're going to have a long ladder of climbing. And it sucks because it's like, it's kind of not guaranteed, but the more hours, the more time progresses, but you worked at the kitchen, you're giving yourself a higher chance to work at the bar. So what I'm gonna talk about the drama shit. So it sucked because for me, no experience whatsoever. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are in that same shoes of like, how the fuck did I put my foot in the door? So I had a manager who was not chill with me being at bar, which sucks. Even though like in the first interview and stuff like that, I was telling him like, oh, I want to do bar and stuff like that. That's my passion. I generally fuck with the bar like heavy, meaning like I do research on my own time. I think it's a really fun thing to do. But it took a hot minute because that manager kind of did everything in his power for me not to work at bar. And he even one time even told me, being like, oh, I could compare bartending to being a pilot, where a pilot has to like be on the plane or some shit for like for multiple years just to fly, and then he'll be able to fly people or something. He says something along those lines, but he was just like, no bar, you need experience first. But it's like, I work at a kitchen, you know what I mean? Like the experience is right there. You have a working bar, so let me learn little by little. So besides that, you're also in competition with the bartenders that have experience. So for me, I got lucky because everyone left. How it works is like there's like a tip system where everyone gets paid. So they got to a point, the majority of the bartenders were just like, fuck this, dude, I could go somewhere else and pull the tips by myself. So what's it called? But even then, if I try to be like a bar back, try to like, like help at the bar, they would be like, fuck off. It's like, yeah, like get away from my station, shoo, demon, shoo. So you're on competition. If a manager doesn't fucks with you, competition with him. If what's it called? There is managers and people who talk shit about you. If word spreads, they're gonna have a negative light on you, and they don't think you're gonna do your job. There's a lot of I even have people who are not bartenders that when I was slowly picking myself as a bar back, as a bartender slowly, they were not fucking with me. Meaning like they're just like, hey, you're doing this wrong. There are people like me that didn't have bartending experience, but they would tell me what to do, which is crazy. So the moral of this is just, when you are climbing this ladder, you have to distance yourself from like your environment practically. Like, I just find it funny that I feel like the most nice people that I met, the sweetest people, It's not the people you see every day. It's the people that show up randomly, like your customers, because they're like, because you have a story. That's the thing. People are rooting for you if you have like a climbing up story. And if you barely meet people, like if you barely see people, but they know that you're in that climb, they respect the grind. The thing though is the people you work around, they're not rooting for you, dog. They want you to like they like so because it's competitive, that's what I'm trying to get at. Bartending's very competitive, where everyone wants your job, or people who don't want your job, oh no, that can't get your job, become resentful. It's just this endless cycle of just like, okay, the manager's not really in my sight. Oh, this guy that I was like, that what's it called? I thought we were good buddies, not really in his sight because what's it called? He's kind of talking shit behind my back. There's people that micromanage me. This is another thing too. Of course, because I was learning bar and stuff like that, I made multiple mistakes because you know what I mean. That's just how it goes. I had when I was learning when it was like super packed, and what's it called? Like there was like a line out the window and stuff like that, and I was the only bar that there was no bar back. It was just me. There was times I just froze. Like I fucking I like fight or flight. Like I like fawned. Well, what is that called when you fawn? Like like a deer in the headlights. I had that before. No, multiple times like in the beginning part. And I even till this day I kind of have nightmares of like there's a rush and I just have like no control of what's happening. And it just sucks because I feel like how I learn is I have to make mistakes. When I get feedback or if I notice like what could I do to get better, I kind of just do research on myself or ask people who have more experience than me what would they do in that situation. But that's the thing. It's just like another thing I want to tell you is you can't tell for the most part if you're a good bartender or not, because like people are not giving you good feedback. They kind of like just judge you and just they're like, oh, this guy sucks, and they will say it behind your back. They wouldn't like be like, hey dude, I care about you, let me what's it called give you, but I want you to fix this and this. It's not that. There's no communication, there's no like sweetness to it. It's just pure like, why are you fucking up, so at a point when you start believing when you keep hearing mistakes over the good shit that you're doing, you don't know where you are. Like, you don't know. You're like, damn, I guess I suck at my job, right? But there's no legit criticism. No, no, it's just criticism. It's not legit feedback. So, like, for example, like, I think my biggest weakness is if I get regulars in, they want to know, like, what's happening with me. They like having, like, a conversation, stuff like that. So it's hard when there's a shit ton of tickets. I have to refill the ice. That's another thing too. My place doesn't really have a bar back. It's just kind of like if you're the bartender, you're kind of like the one-man army situation. So what's it called? It's kind of hard when it's like, fuck, I know you have to do your job, but it's like, fuck, dude, it's kind of hard to be sweet, have a genuine conversation with somebody, but you can't do that, of course, while there's tickets on the line and stuff like. So there's times where I pause a little bit just to talk for a second, and then I pass. But that's the thing. If people look at you seeing these mistakes, let's just say you're off for like a few seconds, but people like your coworkers, all that stuff, saw you at the wrong time. Even though you were doing flawless, let's just say they saw you at that one little inch where you took like a second break. They're gonna be like, this guy's not doing his fucking job. You know what I mean? Like there's too many eyes, there's too many he said, she said moments, and it feels like everything's stacked against you. I guess the last thing I want to say is yeah, like if you're a bartender and if there's like a new hire, it becomes a competition of just like this person wants your job clearly, because bartending is like, to me, it's the best thing in the kitchen industry if it has a bar. But what's it called? People, it becomes a race. It's like, okay, a ticket comes in, pretend there's like a new hire that is also bar. They're running to your ticket to take the spot that you have. Like on my thing, it says bartender. I'm practically the lead bartender. But if what's it called, when people, it's kind of like what I did with the climb, but I never took somebody's spot. It was more of like I would just help out until I asked over and over, like, oh, could I do bar? Could I do bar? Until finally they gave me that title, that position, that station. But there's people now that recently got hired, but it's a competition, dude. It's just like they want, what's it called? They're trying to take over my area, and you know what I mean. They're not. Like they're not really the bartender there. You know what I mean? More of the story is there's a high chance I'm getting replaced. That's what I'm trying to say. But it just sucks because moral of the story, I keep saying that, is if you are climbing that ladder, a lot of people are not going to root for you. Your coworkers, the people you deal with. And I'm not talking shit about all my coworkers. There's a lot of sweet people in there. But for the most part, you really have to look for yourself. And yeah, honestly, like fucking read the 48 Laws of Power or something and just kind of like survive off that, because managers, these people, they're not gonna help you unless they really fucks with you. That's my issue. And it's a hard, lonely climb because it's you versus all of them. You know what I mean? And it depends on the restaurant. You could have like fucking like 50 workers or something, but it's you versus all of them because it's a very, very, like difficult environment. It's very competitive. I talked to, I talked to, I talked to people at my bar, no, regular like customers, and they told me that this might be just an LA thing of how competitive it is because they haven't experienced that. But dude, yeah, it's you versus the world. That's all I'm trying to say. And whoever wants to be a bartender, start as a server, just climb your way up. That's all I could really say. And it's gonna be a very lonely, rough road. And the day you find out you're gonna get the boot, look elsewhere with that experience that you gained. See ya.